Welcome back to Shining with Kimchi Rednecks. So today we are doing a 3-grain whiskey. We have done a 3-grain whiskey in the past. It came out, it was alright, but we decided we wanted to change the flavor. So recently we did a tour of the Ki One Distillery and video of that here somewhere. And they do a Scotch style single malt, and we like the taste of that. But we also like the taste of, the regular corn whiskey. So we figured instead of our normal 4-to-1, 5-to-1 mix we do of corn and barley, we're going to bump up the amount of barley in the mix. So what we got here is 4.4 pounds of Korean crushed malted barley, 1 pound of flaked wheat that we're pretty sure we got off Amazon. Or you can go to Still in the Clear and buy some stuff from them. They sell kits that are pretty good too. And then we got corn. So this is actually just frozen corn that we've thawed and run through the blitzer because that's what we got here. It's surprisingly hard to find dried flaked corn in South Korea, or even just dried corn that you can crush yourself. So we're using frozen corn. Now, according to my calculations, we got 8.5 pounds of corn to go to basically 4.5 pounds of that and 1 pound of that. That gives us 14 pounds of grain. If I remember correctly from one of the many various videos and or forums that we've read, general rule of thumb is 3 pounds of grain to a gallon of water. So we're looking at about 3.5 gallons of water in this mix. We're probably still going to add a little sugar just as a safety net, but hopefully it'll fit in one bucket. If it doesn't, we'll split it between two. But I have got to cook some corn, so I'm going to add some water in here. We're going to get it up to 190-ish Fahrenheit, or this in Celsius. And we keep it there for 45 minutes to an hour to gelatinize the corn before we let it cool and move on to the next step. So I will see you guys in about an hour. All right, so about 45 minutes in, and let's see where we're at. So, as expected, we have corn. Now, as you can see, this is still steaming, and it is hot, so I'm letting it cool down pretty slowly. So, I'm going to grab our flaked wheat here, which says it is pre-gelatinized, so it doesn't have to do the hour at this temperature like the other one. But I can throw this in, and it will help start the cool down on this, because this has got to get down to about 130 degrees before we can start adding other stuff. So, see you the next step. All right, so I'm back here in our little storage room where I keep most of my stuff here to show you. Let me get this in the camera, right? There we go. To show you our bucket. So, we got everything mixed together and poured into the bucket, and it is close. We've got like a 3-inch gap at the top for headroom. So hopefully it doesn't ferment very actively, but it is currently at about 110 degrees or so. So I'm gonna let this sit for a while, chill a little bit, and I will add the yeast to it in a little while. All right, everyone, here we are like 12 hours later, and look at that. Yeah, that 3 inches of expansion, it filled it right up to the lid. So, fortunately for me, it didn't spill over. Oh, and there's a Melissa.
Are you talking to yourself in here?
Yes, I'm talking to myself. But it filled that bucket to the tippy top, but it didn't go over, so I'm good there. All right, everybody, welcome back to another day. It has been about 10-12 days since we started the 3-grain mash, and our current situation is, so I've got the Digiboil on and it's starting to warm, and we've got just under, at the moment, about 3 gallons of wash in there, but as you can see, there's still some in the bucket, and I'm trying to use a fine grain bag to filter out the cake at the bottom, because even with all that grain in a grain bag, I got silt and yeast cake at the bottom, and it's problematic. But we will, or at least I will, because Melissa is out doing Melissa things. I will finish getting that filtered out, and rough guesstimation, we should be just at or just over 3 gallons once I've put the rest of that in there, and I will see you on the back end. All right, tri-grain recipe. All right, guys, we're back. It has been a week or two. We got from our new 3-grain recipe about 1.5 liters of alcohol, which I do not even know what the proof is on it yet, so that's what we're going to do next. But I would like to impress upon you, if you have not yet learned the lesson, when you're doing a run, learn about, because it'll change from still to still, but learn about where your tails start, and when you get close, start taking smaller cuts, because this one changed fast. And I mean within 250 mils, because I don't have it out here, but the little plastic cylinder I have that I use to measure going into here is 250 mils. Within those 250 mils, it went from 90 plus proof goodness at the moment. The next, I don't even know if I made it to 250. It might have been 200 mils. I pulled it out, was wet cardboard. It changed drastically at the drop of a hat. So always remember, if you know how your still runs, if you know at the point at which it's going to start to change, stop your bigger cuts for the hearts and start doing smaller cuts, so that if you do change quickly, you don't smear an entire jar of alcohol with nasty, because that stuff can be not good. Right, so now that we've got our jar of Jarro stuff, we're going to take a quick proofing of it to see how we came out. Right about 110, 112 proof. So always be careful with those things. They break easy, and always have extras. Let's take a quick tasty taste of this and see how it is at 110. Okay. That changed the flavor up a lot. Obviously, because you probably heard it about a minute or so ago in the video, but we changed up our mash bill for this one. Instead of being like 20-25% barley and 75-80% corn, we went with a more like, do I have it on the jar here? Yeah, it was, I'd have to do the math on this, and I'm not good at mathing at the moment. I has the brain fog, but we're probably closer to 35-40% barley, a little bit of wheat, and probably about 50-55% corn. And yeah, there is a major difference in the flavor. That little bit of wheat in it adds a layer. It's got this, because we didn't put a lot of sugar in it. We went heavy on the grains because we were trying to do a little to no sugar run on it. And it's got a very, I don't know how to say it without it sounding bad, but a grainy grunge flavor in it. But it's not like a bad flavor. It's just, you taste grains. But it's like that. Melissa's looking at me like I'm an idiot. Have you ever poured like a thing of like instant oatmeal or something, and you got that little puff of dust that comes out of it, that you inhale it gets in the back of your throat, and you get that taste in the back of your throat from the oatmeal? That's that kind of grungy grain flavor. It's not bad, it's just very earthy. I'm not against it, but I definitely think this is going to need some oak. This is a whiskey, and it's a bourbon-ish style whiskey, so I think a little time on some oak and a little bit of char will do it some good. It's got a nice note to it. It's got layers. It's got layers, but it's not an onion. So a little bit of time with some oak, I think, is going to make this pretty damn good, actually. So I will get out ye old oak spiral and stuff, and we'll throw it in there, and we'll be back. We'll probably let it sit for 2 weeks to a month, and we will be back. All right, so as you can see in the background here, we got strip and run going for our cherry brandy. That's a whole different video that'll hopefully pop up in a couple weeks. But today we are coming back around to 3-grain whiskey Mark II. So as you can see, I still got the the bag in there with the wood chips for the aging. So we are, first off, going to grab a little cup and one of our little syringes. So we are, as marked on the jar here, working at 110 proof, or 55% by volume. First off, let's get a good whiff of it. Woo! Maybe I should let it air a little bit before I stick my nose in there. Woo! I think I burnt my nose hair. Okay, so it's got a good, decent smell to it. I wouldn't say it's overly grainy, but you can definitely tell there's grain in it. But it doesn't also smell like rubbing alcohol, because that would be bad whiskey. I try not to make bad whiskey. All right, so just for the sake of doing things, we're going to taste this at 110 as is in the jar. Okay, so the increase in the barley has definitely changed the body of the flavor. It's definitely got a little bit more of a Scotch note to it, but it's still got that corn whiskey flavor in it. So I'm kind of liking that. That is actually not bad. So I'm apparently just really unprepared today. Let me grab some water. All right, now I got a little water. So if this is 110, 2 to 1 ought to put us in the 70 to 80 range. So 1 milliliter of water, 2 milliliters of our 3 grain. Let's give it a quick swirl, mix it all up. That actually smells pretty good as far as whiskey goes. Kind of digging that. That might have a little too much water in the mix there, but as far as flavor goes, that's not bad. Let's try this again. I'm gonna do a little bit less water. It actually has less of a nose now. Ooh. Hey Melissa, I know you're not the whiskey person, but
It's actually not bad. It doesn't burn as much as your normal whiskey burns.
well, that should be somewhere in the 90 to 100 range. Maybe 85 to 95 range.
Sitting behind the camera, so you're looking at the camera.
Oh yeah, Melissa's standing over here.
Sorry. Actually, that's not terrible, and I don't really care for whiskey. I'm not.
She's the brandy person. She likes the sweet drinks.
I'm the sweet girl. He's the bitter.
But it's got the corn flavor in it, but it's also got a little bit of that Scotch taste from the increased barley.
What I like about it is it did not taste too burny, and you know how I feel about the burning.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a smooth drink instead of a burn all of your insides out.
Actually, what I'm happy about is apparently the wood in there. Remember I said that it had that kind of grungy grain flavor, like the bottom of the cereal bag kind of stuff. It's not necessarily bad, but it's not really good. The wood seems to have cleaned a lot of that out. I'm actually kind of happy with that. That's pretty clean
You
flavor.
gonna make more?
I might. We still got the recipe on the board over there.
We do. I kept it.
Yay.
Yay.
So, we might do a little more tweaking with that one, but I am not unhappy with that.
Woohoo! He's not unhappy.
Right, so we're going to call that one a success.
Yay!
It's not like anybody's ever not invented a 3-grain whiskey before, so. But we're working on our own particular flavor.
We're making our own flavors, which is different because everybody has their own.
Everybody wants to have their own little twist, their own little.
Everybody has their own twist. This is our current workup on what we're working on, or we're playing with.
Ki One inspired moonshine.
It's Ki One inspired moonshine.
Yeah. We may repeat this on a slightly larger scale in the future. This was a test run, and I'm not against it. I might take this in for some of the other people to taste test and give me some credits on.
Taste testers.
Yeah.
Our testers.
Testers. We're gonna call this one a success. Like, subscribe, do the internet stuff. See the Bias Coffee link below, and we'll see y'all next time.
Call it a midlife situation, a moonshine mindset vacation.